this, you heard from Mayor Hancock earlier today. I just wanted to cue up one other thing. I'm sure that many of you are dealing with the same issues that we deal with in Denver, which is a lot of this interaction between people who are under supervision around probation and parole, but it may not be fully engaged, and therefore the risk to recidivate is higher. Thank you very much. So this particular initiative is something that we started out of a federal grant about 3 years ago, and we have actually taken on now supporting this on our own. It's called the PHASE program, and you can see up here all the different collaborators, but basically it's a collaboration between the probation department, the parole department, which in Colorado are two separate departments, DU forensic programs, where we're always working on workforce development and mental health work. That's one of the greatest shortages is around workforce development of practitioners, and then also with the Phoenix Multi-Sports. So Phoenix Multi-Sports is a sober gym. It's a recovery gym. You could do it in a park and recreation center. But what we're doing is we're going after persons who are under supervision of probation or parole, have mental health and substance abuse issues, but are not engaged in treatment services. And instead of doing the traditional way of providing services to them, instead what we're doing is actually working out with them in a gym setting. So they go 3 days a week to Phoenix Multi-Sports. We have clinicians there, mental health, and the other partner is Mental Health Center of Denver. So we have mental health clinicians there, DU clinicians there, and they are literally doing downward dog and different things, working out literally next to their probation officer, parole officer. That does a couple really important things. That changes the entire culture. It equalizes that disparity across that relationship. It helps each other see each other as human, and it helps to build an environment where people start to integrate their whole body, not just the physical, but their whole body, mind, and body together in order to help to create changes. At that particular location then, where we're also able to offer to folks is all kinds of different services. So we have trauma groups, so they go right from doing downward dog into a mental health group, a substance abuse group, a trauma group. They have Medicaid information, so all different kinds of services that are brought to them there, and they're able to engage in those services. What we've been able to see is that we're seeing culture change within probation and parole officers, and we're able to see people starting to engage in services. So a lot of these folks are now that we're being ready to be revoked, which costs you time, it costs you arrest, it costs you court time, it costs the system for jail and Department of Corrections. It reduces all of that because now people are able to be actually engaged in services. So out of our first 377 persons, 210 of them were successfully completed this program. It's pretty short term, about 6 months, but many of them have gone on now to complete probation and parole, and we actually only have a 16% recidivism rate on technical violations, and only 7% of people have actually picked up new charges. So it's a great innovation, doesn't cost a lot of money, but it sure makes a huge difference in helping to realign the system. 6 seconds to spare.